Oh my gosh. Welcome back to Talkville. It is time, folks. It's the finale. We got Ryan, we got Bryce, we got Tom. We just watched the finale together. That was a treat. Watching Ryan's face the whole time. That was certainly a treat. We really appreciate you for making this season and making this show possible. And if you want to see season 6, join Patreon. Patreon.com/Talkville and help the podcast. You know who you are. There's so many of you that give back to the show and couldn't do it without you. And a lot of big news coming up soon about some Smallville type events that Tom and I will be partaking in. And who knows, maybe Ryan will be there. We just don't know.
I don't know.
If you didn't get a chance to call into our hotline, leave a question for the episode, make sure you do on future ones like next season. Start now. We're going to take a little hiatus after this episode. There'll be a best of, I'm sure, right, Bryce?
Yep.
Excuse me.
And
all that is in the show's description.
You are talented.
Thank you. I'm the talented farter. My book is out now. Thanks to everybody who bought the book on Amazon, Talented Farter, and wrote a review. It means the world to me, and we're doing well. I mean, we'll see, but it takes people to, say, hey, I'm going to buy a $20 book and write a review. Ryan, you did it. You sent me a picture. Tom?
I did. I was supposed to bring them here to have you sign them, and I forgot.
Tom didn't buy any books, but I keep sending him books. I just sent him another one. Anyway, we hope you have a magical holiday and all that stuff, and thanks for supporting the show. And my Instagram is at the Michael Rosenbaum. The link tree shows everything. You can order the book, Cameo. Tom's on Cameo as well. And the talkvillepodcast.com for merch. We got the Inside of You online store for also Smallville merch, like the Lexmas scripts and some charity scripts from the heyday back in the day of Smallville available. And we still have those awesome pictures. The artist who drew these amazing, what would you say?
Renderings? Sketching?
And they're available for prints on talkvillepodcast.com. And once those are out, they're gone. And so let's just get into it. Without further ado, let's get into season 5, episode 22. This is Vessel. And the title is Vessel, aired May 11th, 2006. Director James Marshall. Great job, James. Oh, writers Brian Peterson, Kelly Souders. Guest star James Marsders as Brainiac Milton Fine. Terrence Stamp is the voice of Jor-El. Bud the dog is Shelby. Synopsis. The prophecy and arrival of a Kryptonian war criminal put Clark into a predicament where he must choose to sacrifice the lives of loved ones to save humanity itself.
Choose to sacrifice.
Yes. We make choices in life, folks. After a previously on Smallville recap, this episode opens up with ominous shadows cast over the town as Lex and Lana wake up from their night of Chinese food and fireplace conversations. And Lex begins receiving a blinding headache. He rushes out of his office. Lana follows him to an abandoned field and sees her new boyfriend suddenly get blasted from the sky, a sky blast, by the big black spaceship. Captain Kirk gets beamed up to the ship and vanishes, and all that remains is a Kryptonian mark of Zod burned into the ground. What will happen to Lex on the ship? Will he be probed? Probably. I don't remember much of this, except it was a lot of just, you're in pain, you're running into the field, and I didn't know what the hell's going on. I was just taking direction.
Like that, that shot where like you're the crazy person shot.
Yeah,
I don't know what to call it. Where like they strap the camera to your chest.
Yeah, the camera stressed to you, and
yeah,
that was cool.
I think one of the best things about watching this episode is, number one, it had me at every second, except for maybe 2. But this is a really great episode. And I think what helped is I don't remember a single day of it. I don't remember being there. Because we're at the end of the season. You're just like, I'm not complaining.
You just want to get the season over with and go grow your hair or just hang out with your family or something. Well, back on the Kent farm, Lionel stops by for a play date with Clark, but instead runs into Martha. He admires her integrity as she denies yet another favor from her husband's killer.
I was admiring his jacket in this scene. I did like his little coat.
Yeah.
His big coat. Lionel's coat.
Oh, Lionel's coat, yeah.
Big coat.
He is so he's very studly coming in. You know what I mean? Like, no pun intended. He's there.
Lana rushes to Metropolis to get Chloe's help with Lex's alien abduction. She shares that Fine was also there and talked about preparing Lex for the probing, most likely. Back at the Kents, Clark's farm chores get interrupted as Chloe shares Lex's abduction. Clark fears that Zod's warnings are starting to actualize and that he will be freed from the phantom prism other dimension thing.
Guys, I just want to say, as I'm listening, we just watched it. I just want to give you a little soundbite here. This episode is so good that the recap, but you know what I mean? Like, you got to watch it. You got to watch this episode to understand.
If they're here, they've watched it.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
Do you have a mustache?
No, well, this is all gray and this is all dark. I think I should take this down a little bit in length, perhaps.
Yeah, mine's not very dark. I have like a little beard, but my stash is a little bushier.
And Clark has a sudden realization that Jor-El may be trying to protect them this entire time, so he heads to the Fortress of Solitude for a little chat. Jor-El politely apologizes for the loss of Jonathan Kent, and then gives Clark the 411 about the big black spaceship's purpose and how Zod is responsible for the destruction of Krypton and his mother. Jor-El then provides a Kryptonian dagger, tells Clark that he must destroy the human vessel that Zod inhabits.
I won't kill anyone. Back at the Daily Planet, Chloe puts aside her puff piece journalism to help save the world. She tells Clark that maybe this time he shouldn't disobey Jor-El. However, Clark has his reservations on killing his former best friend, and as Clark discusses killing Lex, Lana walks around the corner and overhears the assassination planning. I didn't particularly like that moment. I think that was one of the moments Tom and I didn't like either. But, you know, we, as you can see in the video, Ryan put his suspenders of disbelief on.
I did. Just strapped him up.
By the way, she didn't even walk around the corner. She was just there.
She was just there.
Yep. Well, the plot thickens.
That's right. They did a great job with the other parts of the plot, except that one. It's fine. Lionel finally gets his FaceTime with Clark. They admire his new dagger and discuss more love letters from Jor-El. Unbeknownst to Lionel, his son's life is now in danger, as he tells Clark that murder is totally justifiable in this moment for the greater good of humanity. When Lionel finally does learn that Lex is the vessel, he becomes weak in the knees and goes to find him.
It shows you maybe he has feelings for Lex.
Well, I think Lionel has convinced himself that, you know, only he can kill his own son.
Yeah.
I mean, he did take a knee. He was like, I thought I was going to be the one to do it. But, yeah.
Side note, I think Vessel of Zod is a great metal band name.
Vessel of Zod.
Oh,
I think it's extreme. It's got to be like a really metal band.
Prog rock.
Yeah.
They'd play at the
Liquid
Sphere.
metal.
Lionel finds Lex at the site of the abduction. After all the probing, Lex tells his father that everything feels different. Lionel tells his son that he has never heeded his advice and that his deal with the devil will be his downfall. Lionel goes to embrace his son, and Lex responds with a super elbow that sends his father flying into a windshield so ferociously that it surely would have killed someone.
I think you sold that pretty well. You sold that move.
It was really cool.
And he was on the dashboard with his blank stare for a really long time where I thought, did that actually happen?
Well, I mean, he only traveled 75 yards.
At full speed. But maybe, maybe Lex, like,
in a long drive.
Whatever's controlling Lex still had part of him that he made the impact lesser than it would have been. Let's just put our suspenders on.
Tom brought this up while we were recording. Wanted to know Michael's experience with doing the super speed. Do you remember that at all, Michael?
I don't really remember my super speeding, but
Like, did you actually have to run like Tom did, and then they sped it up?
I was there, and then I ran, and I ran up to my mark, and they go, "Good, got it." I think that was it.
Yeah, but maybe you had it intrinsically, but there's a small thing you have to do that, whether it's 5 feet or 10 feet or 100 feet you run, when you hit your mark, you can't be out of breath, and you have to be completely still. That's like sells it. So maybe, I don't know if Marshall helped you with that.
Yeah, maybe. I think what happens is I go there and I run, and I just go like this. I like almost hold my breath for a second until they cut, and then whatever. So I don't. You can't go. Oh fuck. Oh, I'm tired.
Yeah. Lex gets tired from super speeding.
Oh man, don't let me do that again. Talkville is brought to you by Factor Meals, guys. I am in love with Factor Meals. I mean, I don't have to go to the grocery store anymore. I don't have to go waste food. I don't have to go to these delivery services and spend a fortune. They're inexpensive. Easy prep, no stress, delicious freaking meals. I urge you to try Factor. It will change your life. You notice how the days are shorter, but your to-do lists aren't? Power through your days with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. From breakfast to dinner and anything in between, Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled and feeling your best. Whether you like routine or you enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add to your box, like keto cookies, pressed juices, smoothies. Don't let shorter days slow you down. Stay energized with America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service, Factor.
Factor lets you do you. Choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well balanced.
Because Factor meals are chef prepared and dietitian approved, you're going to love not only how Factor meals taste, but also how they support your goals.
Factor is cheaper than takeout and dining out. Put the money you save towards holiday shopping or reaching your financial goals.
Find guilt-free comfort foods like home-style chicken and gravy and loaded mashed potato pork chops. Feel-good vegan options like sweet potato and chickpea curry. And globally inspired flavors like Peruvian shrimp and red pepper cauli grits.
There's no sacrificing quality for convenience with Factor. Weekly menus offer ways to treat yourself to a restaurant-like meal experience with gourmet plus dishes that feature premium proteins and seasonal sides like broccolini, leeks, and asparagus. How does truffle butter filet mignon or garlic herb roasted barramundi sound?
Yeah, pretty mouthwatering. Stay on your A game with quality ingredients you can trust and quality you can taste in every one of Factor's fresh, never frozen meals. Use your time more efficiently, so important during these dark months. Let Factor take shopping, prepping, cooking, and cleaning up off your daily list of things to do. Head to factormeals.com/50talkville and use code 50talkville to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code 50talkville at factormeals.com/50talkville to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping while your subscription is active. Talkville is brought to you by Policy Genius. You know, Tom, when he's here, we always talk about how important life insurance policy is. It's so important to the people that you're leaving. If you're gone, what are they going to do? Don't you want their lives to be easier? Because it's already going to be really tough on them. And the heart of holidays tradition is family. But, you know, again, what happens when you're gone? Protect your family's future and your peace of mind with Policy Genius. Policy Genius makes finding and buying life insurance simple, so your loved ones have a financial safety net they can use to cover debts and routine expenses, or even invest that money to earn interest over time.
Compare quotes from America's top insurers side by side for free with no hidden fees.
Their licensed support team helps you get what you need fast so you can get on with your life. They answer questions, handle paperwork, and advocate for you throughout the process.
Life insurance is a form of financial planning, and Policy Genius is the country's leading online insurance marketplace.
Yeah, even if you already have life insurance through work, it may not protect all your family's needs or follow you if you leave the job. Join thousands of happy Policy Genius customers who left 5-star reviews on Google and Trustpilot. Secure your families tomorrow so you have peace of mind today. Head to policygenius.com or click the link in the description to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. That's policygenius.com.
He super speeds back to his office and greets Lana. She's used to the super speed entrances and exits, so she isn't too surprised. Clark goes on to display his newfound gift by pulling out a pistol and popping a cap in his own hand, proving his invulnerability.
Lex does that. Yeah, you said Clark, but that's fine. It's fine, but Lex does it. We know Lex
Clark.
does it. In a crazy change in circumstances, Lex actually shares all of his secrets with powers with Lana, not wanting to keep her in the dark. Appreciating the honesty that she's been looking for over 5 seasons now, Lana tells Lex about Clark's plot to have him killed. Having already taken his girl, Lex now believes he must take Clark's life. He must take the Kryptonian and destroy him.
If you really backtrack that, he's only coming to that because Lana said he's going to kill him. He really doesn't have... He should just be like... It could have been like, well, he can't kill me, so maybe I'll rekindle our friendship. Because it's only because Lana says it, you know. But
we take a quick pit stop to Kent Medical as Clark pays a visit to Lionel, getting pieces of windshield removed from his face, and he learns about Lex's super change and fears that he has now become the vessel we are all worried about. Lionel fears the worst for what can happen, and as a result of how he's raised Lex, but Clark believes there's still hope left. Martha and Lois take off in the Luthor Corp jet. Despite being admired for her integrity earlier in the episode, Martha seems to have done a 180 in accepting Lionel's offer. However, she tells Lois she's not interested in Lionel. Really? Or is it maybe because you're worried about what Clark thinks? Oh, never mind. I'll shut up. Go ahead.
I mean, you want to talk about how Lionel made it from the field to the hospital? I mean, those are suspenders right there. Those are heavy
suspenders. Those are put on your trousers of disbelief. Right there, trousers.
Hike up your socks, kids.
As she leaves, Fine appears in the office to confront Clark and ask for his allegiance in joining Zod. Clark responds by punching him across the room. Fine goes on to mock Clark's real weakness, humans, and claims that once Zod arrives, he won't be able to save all of them. Shortly after, he releases some other type of virus that sends Matrix-like characters globally across the world, cutting off access to power and technology, thus sending every city into utter fucking bedlam.
Wait, is that what happened?
Yes.
We were watching it. Maybe I was stalled on my
Yeah, he had his
my
computer
seat.
and it was like all of a sudden it went into effect. I mean, it was a lot. I don't think they should have gone nuts like this. It should have been like things are starting to happen. By this point, it already seems like it's like post-apocalyptic.
You mean like the Talon just gets looted?
Yeah,
Only the
it's
Talon?
just everything like exploding and like
Yeah,
Lana
within
decides
like
I'm going to
30
meet Lex
minutes.
there later, which will it's like anyway.
But it's cool.
You do stupid thing. Love is blind and also bald. Clark heads to the Daily Planet, learns about the computer virus taking over city infrastructures. Apparently, this is also causing people to forget how to drive as a car comes careening through the wall until Clark stops it with one hand, saving Chloe, which I thought was dope. That was really
great.
cool. Somebody goes, let's have a car drive through there. And they're like, whoa. We could do that. Okay, sure.
Also, I think whosever idea is that Clark grabs Chloe and then does the 180 to catch the car. He didn't just grab her and stop the car. You know what I mean? Like, it was dope. That was
really
movement.
well choreographed. I think Marshall did a great job directing this episode.
Yeah.
Chloe tells him he must leave to take out the vessel, and not knowing if she will ever see him again, she decides to plant a big wet one on him as he leaves. And
they're friends.
It was uncalled for. But
They're
maybe
friends.
it shows, hey, I still have feelings for you, and I just want to kiss you in case I never see you. I want you to know how I truly love you. And nice tongue. As if the pressure to save the world and kill his friend isn't enough, right?
Yeah.
Clark now has to think about all this love triangle shit again. So 30,000 feet up in the air, Martha somehow lost track of time as Lois wakes from a nap and tells her they should have landed an hour ago. Despite the pilot not making any announcement, Martha is unbothered. They look out the plane window and they see their plane has changed course. Not only that, but the pilot is Milton Fine. Old Milton Fine.
Oh, Milty Fine.
He's like, I got to put on a pilot suit now, man.
Yeah, why? So, Ryan, you brought something up about wardrobe changes.
Yeah.
But can I ask you this? Why does he put on the pilot suit at all?
He didn't need
He
to.
doesn't need...
Yeah, do you think they're going to look at him and go, oh, that's the pilot? But maybe they haven't seen Milton Fine. So if they did see him, they'd be like, oh, you're the pilot.
But he
Putting them
locked the
on.
cockpit door.
Here's my suspenders.
Yeah, that's true. It's like, you're Milton
It
Fine.
tells the
Just,
story.
He didn't need to.
And I don't care.
I think that was just, honestly, I think that's just an aesthetic choice for him. He's like, well, if I'm applying a plane, I better put
I'm
on a
just going to
uniform.
he probably killed the pilot and said, I'm going to wear your clothes. And he didn't have to put them on. He probably
He's
probably just
cosplaying.
touched his body and the clothes appeared.
Probably.
He didn't have to do too much work. He just said, no, I'm going to wear a captain suit. I've always wanted to be a captain for Halloween. So why the hell not? Clark takes the upper hand and pulls out the Kryptonian dagger. Fine appears in the barn and peer pressures him to commit murder. Clark can't follow through and decides to chuck the dagger into the chest of Fine, thus releasing a red beam of light from the Fortress of Solitude, opening a portal for Zod to arrive. Uh-oh. It's amazing how killing Fine opens the portal.
Yeah, I don't know if that math adds up, but I will say this is one of many things I just didn't see coming this episode. That's why it's so fun to watch.
So if Clark would have been able to kill Lex, the world would have just been saved. That's kind of crazy, but I guess he knew he couldn't kill him because he's a Kryptonian. Kryptonians don't kill people. I don't know.
Maybe Lex was like, not a red herring? Am I using that correctly?
Yeah, it's like you killing Lex had nothing to do with it.
I
knew you'd never kill Lex.
So like made it seem like he was, I don't know. Zod is Lex. Lex is Zod.
Bryce
After
is like,
admiring
what?
his eyes, Zod addresses Clark as Kal-El and then claims that Lex is dead. He tells Clark that he is set on revenge for Jor-El banishing him to the Phantom Zone. Another good metal band name. Zod asks Clark to join the dark side, to which he denies, and as a result, gets pulled into the Phantom Zone. Great. Back in the sky, Martha and Lois are fighting for their lives with diminishing air inside the cabin. Both girls pass out and are on their way to Gonzville.
Yeah, let me ask you this. I mean, if they didn't get oxygen, they're dead. If someone doesn't get to them in like 1 minute, they'll just die. So I almost wish they would have grabbed those things so it was more believable. But it's like, how are they going to get out of this?
And then you got Lois and Martha taking the pilot and co-pilot seat and trying to land a plane.
Well, I just wish that they would have breathed oxygen so you knew that they were still alive, because it's unrealistic that, you're going to come back for the first episode of season 6, and we'll get there.
When Brainiac's dead, right? Like
what?
when he dies, Brainiac's dead, right? So there's no pilot clone? Is that how that works? They all disappear?
Oh,
I don't know.
Ow.
So that plane's just going down.
Yeah, ow. We then cut to some 80s riot footage as we see major metropolitan cities breaking out in a panic. Chloe wanders the streets of Metropolis. She attempts to flee with Lionel Luthor, but both of them get stopped and pulled out of the limo by an angry mob. And Lana makes her way through the riot somehow to make good on her date night promise with Lex atop the Luthor Corp building as their city and loved ones beneath them burn. Zod/Lex and Lana admire the skyline. Lana tells Lex that she will not abandon him like everyone else in their life has. Zod thanks her by making out as chaos ensues. And the episode ends as we zoom out over the world in chaos as Clark Kent is imprisoned in the Phantom Zone in space. And my favorite part was Ryan going, What the hell's that? Well, in the Superman movies, they did that.
Yeah.
You do recall that.
It took me a second.
So closing thoughts, where the F do we go from here? I mean, somehow Zod has to be stopped. Somebody has to get up in the sky and save Lois and Erica or Martha. Chloe and...
They got to get out of their crystal first, because I feel like that's what's
they got to
going to
free
happen.
you from that. So Chloe's going to probably be the one that does that. Or you know what? Jor-El will free him from that.
Oh, because Lex is Zod now.
I bet Jor-El does it. I don't know, though.
Well, they're headed to like a snowy mountain. Are they not headed toward the Fortress of Solitude?
Thoughts on Lana, Lex's Bonnie and Clyde relationship from here on out?
Huh.
I don't know. We'll just have to see where it goes. I have no idea right now. It's just a tongue kiss on a rooftop.
I think Lana's setting him up.
Should Clark have just killed Lex? Yes, of course. Any other things you remember from shooting this? I don't. Tom and I don't remember much. I remember a little bit of the super speed, like I said, tiny bit, and running in that field and them just saying, grab your head, you're in pain. And I'm like, and running. And that's all. I remember a scene from the episode 1 in season 6, but we'll get to that.
So you don't remember running through the water? Because I think that would be something you'd remember, because I think you would have complained a lot about that.
I probably complained, but I don't remember that. I remember a lot of smoke, and I remember telling Ross, and he's like, I'm just doing my job, Michael. And
hey, so what's the story? I've heard you mention it before of getting paid twice to be Zod. Was that this episode?
Well, in the script, I just said Zod and Lex, and now I'm playing this other character. So I go, are they going to pay me twice? And Tom's like, no, dude, you're just going to play that character.
No, look at Zod played five Zods or five, Milton Fines.
Yeah. So, it wasn't in the budget and it wasn't in my bank account. So what are you going to do? Interesting things of note. Jor-El says that Fine is controlled by the brain interactive construct. I don't really care about that. This was the final episode in terms of newly released episodes of Smallville to air on the WB network before the CW's launch. So we were thinking, when are we going to be on a network with 3 letters? Right now it's WB, CW. It's like, come on. The finale featured a 7-minute preview of Superman Returns released later that summer. In a deleted scene, the inside of the black ships is shown. Brainiac is shown preparing Lex. The episode marks the first time that Clark and Chloe kissed without being inhibited by someone or something else. Chloe mentions Y2K, which may be a reference to the Superman Y2K comic book where Brainiac attacks Earth. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. I don't know what I would do and so many people around the world and my listeners would do without BetterHelp. For some, wrapping up in a blanket with a mug of hot chocolate or watching a movie with family is the best way to spend the month of December. However you spend the holidays, we want you to remember to take some time for you this holiday season and find some comfort. Therapy is a great way to bring yourself some comfort that never goes away, even when the seasons change. Therapy from BetterHelp is helping for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself, and it isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, you got to give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. You just fill out a brief questionnaire. It takes no time at all, and you get matched with a licensed therapist. You could switch therapist anytime for no additional charge. It's that easy. Find comfort this December with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/talkville today to get 10% off your first month.
That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/talkville.
The title of the book, The Talented Farter.
Yes. That's been a thing.
Never.
This is a wonderful story about a little boy whose only gift, his only real talent is tooting. He can make his toot sound like everything you hear in everyday life. So little Michael loved Halloween, but nothing frightened his friends more than when Michael would stink up a good scare. Can you hear that?
Oh, I heard it.
It is a lovely story, and it's beautifully illustrated by my friend Heath, and Simon & Schuster's putting it out. It's going to be in tons of bookstores and available on Amazon. I'm so proud of it.
All right, let's go to one of our top tiers on Talkville, our lovable patron. Let's go to Charlie. Bryce, you got Charlie? Charlie Thomas, what's up, buddy?
Hello there. How's it going, guys?
Here he is. Long time no see.
I know, right? Seems like I just seen you guys a few weeks ago.
You did, man. You got your Talkville shirt on. You got your Smallville poster in the back signed.
Yes, sir.
I love it, buddy. Let me ask you this.
Thank you, Tom. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
I
did.
Nice.
I keep my promises, Tom. Thank you, man. Sorry, go ahead.
Why Smallville? What got you into Smallville?
So a long time ago in a galaxy not so far away. I give you guys so much props and everything. You guys are amazing heroes. Look, this show came out. Look, you've said it before. Al Goth has said it before. John Schneider said it before. This show came out at a time when kind of a lot of people needed, a good hero. The Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. And I think you guys encapsulated it just perfectly. I mean, you guys had Glenn Winter, you had Greg Beeman, you had so many names of so many legendary people, but above everything else, the cast. I mean, you guys just encapsulate everything when it comes to heroes, right and wrong.
Well, Charlie, I got to tell you, you brought up something. Did Joseph Campbell of it all? I had someone early on in the series share his books with me. And I read those, and I think it really helped me with this hero's journey. And if you guys don't know about this, it's like, it talks about how cultures throughout humankind have come up with the same versions of the same story, even though they had never met. And it's all about this thing of you kind of grow, and then you kind of have to die, and then the rebirth. So I remember Joseph Campbell being a big impact on me.
Oh, that's awesome, man. And I'll give you guys another praise. Until Smallville came out, look, I grew up with the Christopher Reeves VHS Laserdisc back when that was a thing, everything. So, that was my Superman. So when I remember, to this day, I remember being in a, like a regular magazine store back whenever people didn't, download things. And I just remember opening up this WB book, and it says every, has a beginning. And I see, the poster of the pilot. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, with everything going on, kind of need this. And so, to you guys' credit, and that on is, look, after I discovered you guys and when I started reading comics and stuff, every time I would read a character, if it was Superman, Clark Kent, the voice in my head would always be Tom Welling. Whenever I would see a book, if it was Lex Luthor involved or Wally West, it would always be Michael Rosenbaum. And of course, Kevin Conroy, my Batman voice forever.
Yeah.
You guys contributed to my introduction of comic books, so I thank you.
I also remember you mentioning in the past that you watched with your dad, who's probably very happy that we're talking right now, no longer around, but I remember that. And that was a big part.
Oh, thanks, Tom. I appreciate it.
And that helped. Did that, I mean, look, those moments like that, I think, contribute to help your life, because it's like you look back and you had that person in
Shared
your life
experience,
who loved you unconditionally, something you could remember, fond memories. And I always say life is about memories, all the memories that you have. And it sounds to me like Smallville was a special thing for you and your pop.
Yes, sir. It immediately is. Thank you so much for that, guys. It's we'd always watch, and whenever I remember, I think it switched networks at one time or went on break or something like that. Like, when's the next episode coming out?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like the network switched, and then they kept moving nights. Almost every season, it was a different night, and like the fans had to find it. And shows that I watched that were doing that would always piss me off, because I'm like, I got my routine down, and now I don't know where to find it.
Charlie,
yes, sir.
Do you think Ryan adds or doesn't add to the show?
Oh my God, are you kidding me? It's our legendary scientist, the Ryan-tist, for God's sakes.
Ryan-tist.
What are you kidding me? That, of course, we need him for science. I mean, come on. A few weeks ago, there was a panel at Smallville Con, which, by the way, thank you guys for that. I'm just chanting this man's name. Guys, come on.
I gotta tell you a quick story. Ryan was there, and we love Ryan. And it was like, hey, we're doing this panel if you want to come up there. And he's like, I'll think about it. And then he came out, and it was so fantastic. And then I think we were at the table, and I said something to you about, you want a picture with Ryan? And you're like, can I get one? And I'm like, yeah, it's free.
It's free. We just have to point the other direction.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you this before we let you go.
Sure.
What did you love about? Would you rank this as your top 5 episodes, or would you rank this as one of the best finales? How did you feel about it?
Man, I did write down some, clip down, so I kind of want to impress you guys, but you guys are amazing as this. But no, look, I remember when this aired, and just that cliffhanger of just like, where's Clark?
Yeah.
And you just see the classical, the Phantoms out there. Oh, crap baskets. And then
now I gotta wait 3 months to see what happens.
Yeah, and then automatically to be continued. Yeah, to be continued. And I'm like, no.
We were all bummed when we just rewatched it all together. And when at the end, we're just like, no, I hate those to be continued, but they're effective.
This episode, phenomenal performances by you guys, by the whole entire cast, but like especially you two. That scene in the barn where you guys, finally, Lex, just kind of maybe a bit off more than he can chew, when trusting, Brainiac Milton Fine.
Yeah.
But Clark, you guys did amazing. And Michael, look, I know I've heard the stories firsthand. I've been there at panels. I know how you know how much you're looking forward to playing in the trench coat and revisiting that. But I promise you, man, the performance, you sold it. I promise you did.
I think when we do the podcast for season 6, episode 1, can you wear the trench coat?
I have it. I might put it on. I might just put it on.
Man.
Well, Charlie, look, we love you, buddy. You're the best, Charlie. Thank you.
Love you guys.
Time for the hotline.
Hey guys, I'm filming this question from my hotel room here at the Smallville Con. Can't wait to see you guys. This question is for the episode Vessel. Michael, in this episode, you get superpowers, and I'm just curious if you shared notes with Tom on how to physically act and convey when you use those powers. Thanks.
No, you know what? I swear to God, I just kind of went with the flow and just was like, hey, does this look right? So I'm throwing him across the room. Boom. Was that about? Yep, look great. Great. I just trusted everybody who knew how to do all this stuff. That was pretty much it. I just was like, these guys know what they're doing now. So yeah, good question though. Michael P. But I enjoyed it. I remember it was just like, it's cool I get to do that stuff. Watching it is even more exciting.
It takes a long time.
Yeah, a long time.
Hey all, it's Michael P from Texas. Now that you've seen the season 5 finale, Vessel, I'm curious where you rank this season amongst the first 5 that we've seen so far. Thanks.
I think this is the best season. Ryan?
Who are the first ones?
I just think this is the best season because there's more character-driven stuff. It's got more intensity, more character. It changes the sort of outlook on Smallville with Lex and Lana, and the world coming to an end, and Milton Fine, and
I think you're responding to the longevity of the storylines that continue, as opposed to season 1, where freak of the week. Now we get Milton Fine as being the freak of the weeks.
Yeah, you're right.
True.
Brianna.
This is Brianna from Texas. If this was going to be the last episode and the series finale had the series not been renewed, how would you all like to have ended the series? Would you be satisfied with this ending, or what would you have liked to have seen for Clark, Lex, Lana, and Lois? And
no, I don't think so. I think that it wouldn't have been a good ending because it's like the end of the world and you just can't leave in a cliffhanger. I mean, you have to know what happened. So
what if we just said the end?
Yeah, it would have been like, what? That's the end? So, what? Everybody dies? Yeah, I don't think so. It was really cool. It was probably the best finale thus far, or one of them.
Hi, this is Janelle from San Diego, California. I have a question, and it's regarding something that happened in the last episode of season 5. I want to know why Lex feels that he has to demand the truth from everybody. Nobody can lie. Yet through the entire season, he has been lying about everything.
Well, I'll tell you, everybody's been lying to him, so then he starts lying, and it's a cyclical thing. But, this is something that has been a part of Smallville for a long time, and a lot of these things that are happening, Clark's powers and all this, and everyone's kept him in the dark. And so it's like, you've been lying since the beginning of our friendship. It's all been a sham. So I understand why he's upset, but two lies don't make a unlie.
He said enough.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Gabe calling in for the season finale Vessel. Michael, this is it. You're getting to play Zod, one of the most famous villains of Superman. Besides getting paid twice for playing two characters, what else are you excited about taking on this role and getting into character?
It was a great question, but Michael, you had no idea who Zod was.
I had no idea who Zod was. I was like, Zod? All right, so this is just some character you made up? Zod, I'm playing Zod? But I didn't realize he was a part of they explained to me it's part of the, mythology and all this. I think now watching, I'm like going, oh, that's cool. I'm playing this character. And I wonder if it would have changed what I did. I don't think so, but I'm more impressed now than I was. I was just doing my job. I was just like, I'm playing Zod. He's controlling Lex. He's, so I just did my job. But yeah, I didn't know what the hell was going on. Tom's not wrong about that.
Hey guys, Carl from Bangor, Maine with a question about season 5, episode 22, Vessel. The scene when Lex threw Lionel into the windshield, that was absolutely insane. Don't know how he survived. I'll suspend disbelief. But how did they do that? It looked pretty good for being 20-something years ago. Thanks, guys.
I think the short flight that you see was a visual effect, and they probably had Lionel sort of laying against the windshield so they can get their focus. And then they would have him lean back with everything already on him, like the cuts and everything. And then he would have pretended to hit the glass, and the glass would probably have been done in post as well.
You know what? They could have reversed the shot. So he's on there. They put some blood on him. And then, he could have just leaned up. And then, so they reversed the shot. I don't know. They could have done a lot of stuff. Kelowna. Remember Kath Kelowna and wardrobe?
Yeah.
I loved her in costumes.
Maybe it's her.
She was, she worked on.
Hi, this is Kelowna A from Putnam Valley, New York. First of all, it was great being at the Salute to Smallville in New Jersey this past weekend, and it was lovely meeting all of the cast. Regarding the finale episode in season 5, Vessel, it was quite the breaking point for where Clark and Lex rivalry, I think, kind of reached its max. How did you both kind of approach the tension and intensity between these two characters of this episode?
I mean, I made a comment when we were watching it that I thought it was a good scene and we could do it in Smallville Nights. I just think we both committed to the scene, to be honest.
Yeah, I think every scene we do, there's just more. It's like, how do we elevate everything? How do we build the scene? How do we start from a certain point and end at a certain point and listen to each other and try to make each other better? So, Aaron?
Hey guys, it's Aaron from Tulsa, Oklahoma, calling about season 5, episode 22, Vessel. As far as I know, this is the first and only episode in the series that utilized a sonora cam or a camera attached via harness. Looking back at the actor, Michael, do you remember participating in a shot like that since? Thanks, guys.
Tom, you had done it before too in a scene way back when, I remember, but I don't remember this. I think they put a harness on me and this camera, and as I moved, it moved with me, and it was really cool to see how it ended up looking. But I don't really remember much. But I
remember doing one where when they hook you up to it, and it's a lot of trust, and you do the scene, and it's one of the few times where I'm like, I need to see what this looks like, guys, because I feel redonkulous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they show you, and you're like, oh, now I can
visualize. You can kind of understand.
Hi guys, it's Stuart from sunny Brisbane in Australia. This one's for Mikey. I'd say Zod is really becoming the main villain, and obviously in this episode is the main villain. Would you say it was ever a competition between yourself as Lex to be like one of the main villains, if you even saw yourself as a villain, or did you really think, it's not my time in the light? All right, thanks guys.
The way I thought about this was like Zod is a super villain. He's absolutely a villain, and Lex is still fighting, trying to figure out his identity and who he is, and still there's some hope left in him and his endeavors and what he wants out of life. And I always like to think there's hope in everyone, but Zod is a villain. He's an ultra, this guy was banned into the netherworld for blowing up Krypton. So this is a ruthless person who kills people, and playing Lex was completely different than that.
I also think competition in an acting scenario is just a distraction.
Yeah.
If it's about competition, the scene's not going to be good.
Yeah, I don't think of it as a competition. I just thought like this guy is larger than life. This guy is whatever Lex is. He's on, this guy's on a higher level.
Hey guys, this is Maddie from Middle Tennessee. Smallville has been one of my most favorite comfort shows since I was 6 years old, and I'm now 26. When rewatching the episode Vessel a couple weeks ago, I was reminded of a question my dad and I have always discussed. This question is for both of you. Do you guys think that if Clark had been honest with Lex from day one, that it would have made any difference at all in how Lex turned out? Thank
Absolutely,
you guys. Thank you for doing this
100%,
podcast.
1,000,000%. What do you think, Tom?
Well, I definitely don't think Lex would have been the red herring of a vessel in this episode.
Yeah, if you had told him from the beginning, you kind of could have been together, and like he'd say, I don't need, like I imagine him saying, I don't need Luthor Corp. I don't need Lex Corp. I don't need my father. Like, let's go do good for the world. And how can we do that? And I'll be the puppeteer of something larger than that, and keep your secret, and work for the good of humanity.
You would have saved, and you would have saved a lot of money on these lab experiments.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gone down this dark road. Clark caused all of it. Text. This is a text from Caitlin. This episode marks the third time Lex has discovered Clark's secret. It made me wonder, if you were Smallville's writer, what do you think would be the ideal way for Lex to finally truly learn about Clark's secret? I don't know. I think the way they've done it is pretty good, but like, a lot of times it makes Lex look stupid, but I think underneath Lex knows, and that's why he keeps pursuing Clark. So when he finally finds out, I think it would be the end of the show. And I think when he does find out, it is the end of the show.
Maybe that's why that scene that we have together is so impactful, because it's finally a realization, even though in the back of my mind, Lex is probably going to get hit in the head and lose his memory of the whole thing. But
yeah, you're not wrong. All right, Rosenbaum rating. We're going to go to Ryan first. We're going to go to Ryan. You know what? No, we're going to go to Bryce. Bryce, what do you give this episode?
Oh man. It's either 2.5 or 3.
Wow.
I kind of don't want to give it a 3 because there wasn't like a ton of heart or like emotion. It was just badass. So I'll go 2.5.
I think that's a strong answer. Go ahead there, Mr. Ryan. Don't listen to Bryce. Don't let him influence you. If you feel like it's lower, then you give it a lower score.
I don't know. I don't think it's lower. I think I would have the same debate that Bryce is having, 2.5 or 3.
Is it a mass debate? Are we all debating?
It's a mass debate. I got a mass debate over here. I will also go with a 2.5.
Tom.
3.
I mean, to me, this is what Smallville is and what I wanted it to be. I mean, this was just epic. And as the pilot episode was a 3, if you aired this as a second parter or something like that, or if it somehow made sense, I'd say it was equally good. So I'm going to have to go with, except for the 80s footage, I got to go. I was going to go 2.5, but I think 3. I think it was just thoroughly enjoyable. And I watched it off a computer and I felt that way.
Oh.
So there you go. Death and save count. 0 dead. Lex not really dead. 1 saved. Clark saves Chloe. 22 episodes, 41 dead, 43 saved. Series 177 dead, 190 saved. Ryan's favorite scene.
Oh, this is a tough one. I don't envy you right now, Ryan, because there's a lot of good scenes in here.
I mean, the only way that I feel like I can describe it is like, oh man, it was so awesome. He was just like,
completely
oh man,
awesome.
he just stabbed God and then he like was in a square. It was awesome.
Oh my gosh, the Phantom Zone is like ridiculous. Go ahead.
I'll do my best. All right.
Scene 1.
Scene 1. Lex's abduction.
Okay.
Scene 2. The Lex Clark fight.
Okay.
And scene 3, Lex and Lana kissing into the Phantom Zone thing is like one thing.
I mean, that's a pretty epic scene, the way it looked, and I mean, it's larger than life. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Why don't we...
You want to say it at the same time?
Yeah, it's on. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. Like then you say your answer on an imaginary 4. So you'll say 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, 3, 3.
2.
3.
Yeah! Lex and Lana!
You know, I should have known because all the questions were for you. This whole
But did you love
podcast.
that scene, the way it looked, right? It was like...
It was bad.
I remember shooting that, actually.
Finally.
I do remember that. I remember the trench coat and they had the fans going... And it was all blue screen or whatever at the time.
Your hair was going everywhere.
And well, no, but I do remember that. I remember standing there feeling like a badass going, oh my God, this is cool. But that's the only thing I remember really.
Yeah.
Did they give you, do you remember if they gave you like big boots?
Yeah,
like,
I think
I
had a different kind of boot or something to make me taller or something. But I'm already 6 feet, so it might have made me 6'1", 6'1".
I mean, we all watched together, and at the end, you were like, Ryan, your mouth was agape.
It was. Your mouth was agape. That's what I remember.
It's true.
All right. That's it for season 5. Holy crap. Stick around next week as we recap some of our favorite moments and take a final tally on everything from the past 22 episodes. Lex take the discussion online. Let us know your thoughts on the episode over on our socials at Talkville Podcast or at Talkville Pod. Show the support by joining Patreon, please. Patreon.com/Talkville. If you want the show to continue, it's all on you. And if you want more info like merch from the show or our hotline number, you can find all that in the description. And we love you and we thank you. Ryan, Bryce, Tom, always a damn pleasure. And remember, folks,
always hold on to Smallville.
Well, we couldn't forget our lovable patrons who make this show freaking possible. It's you, patreon.com/Talkville to support our show. So we hope you continue to support us. And please, if you're not, do it. You get your names read out and you're supporting the show that you love and that we do every week. And so if you want another season, here we go. Leanne P, Raj C, Santiago M, Little Lisa, ThomasTomTurner, Shane W, BetsyD, Abhi P, Rae H, KarenApple M, 99 more.
Leilani N. Brett G, always on Smallville, Charlie T. I just talked to him the other day on Cameo. Always good to see him. Garrett W, Bob K, Tom N, Jason W, Osama A, always in the house. Lana, Rams with Bananas W. Nancy D, Brian G, YVRGrips.
Amanda R, Teddy127, Michael P, Ryan R, Jordan M, Randy B, Craig G, Jarrell, Heather and Greg, or Grether. I'm A, Talkville Say Butts, Brian H, Eric K.
Clark's M, Kristen B, Jeff and Nan Weber, exclamation point. Darth Achilles, Finky, Early is on time. Damn, who's that? Jeanette E, Deadvid, General Zod, Theodore, Jammin' J, Doug R, Carlos C, Tommy Z, Boston 68, always love hearing from you. Ken the Limerick Guy, Corey L, Mr. Home Arcade, Claire M, and D, Brown.
KarenApple M, Jules M, Eldon Supremo, Leslie V, Brian P, McBurts, Ginger Moose, Christoph S, Michelle M, Leah W, Amanda Lynn, Michael Kang Doesn't Blink, Sebastian F, Wolfie, Matthew Malinkin B, Breyer, Charlene A, Marion Louise L, Caesar, a.k.a. CGO.
Cindy C, Shannon, Fofanon, Tina E, Matt Maverick, good one, Jen T, Randy S, Cassie B, Brad A, Felicia R, Danny Mo Mirabel, JS, Mary K, Rachel D, Steve, and Nate Danger. When you're rich, you aren't crazy or eccentric.
Carrie Ann. Hey, Carrie Ann. The Alexander Castle, Daryl E, Jenny B76, Anna B, Monica T, Jeffrey K, Pip Kenobi, Katya C, I caught you, see? Previously on Smallville, Keith B, Kookie K, Libertaria, Danny Z from Cleveland, Biagio C, The Salty Ham, David L, Madison H, Mika J.
Kelowna A, My Pups Lex, Shelby, Kara. I say Kara. Some people say Kara. Natalia, Dr. J, love the Sixers. Lesser Leather, Never Weathered, Better. Thanks. That's fun. You know I'm not good at that stuff, you guys. Dr. G and Dr. T, Krypton Knight, that's a good one. Brandon C, Ned L, Flirtatious B, Persix, Kurgan K.
Naman L, Smallville for Life, Bobby B, Kai W, J Burke, Kendrick F, CC Storm, Stacy L, Other Brother Daryl, Melanie P, Starla L, Charlie M, Cheyenne F, Bobby and Isa from Queens, AG Sison, Heather H, Mickey L, Manchild _art, Bobby, Brett, Team Lex, Allison C. I like people do this to just like, because they're not clear, a lot of them. So we're going to mess this up constantly. Unless it's clear and phonetically spelt, we're going to mess it up. It's your name we're shouting out. So,
I mean, I only want to listen to this if we're messing it up.
Yeah, we're sorry. Yeah, we got to mess it up. I think people do that on purpose. Anyway, we love you. Thanks for supporting us.